Welcome to Geek Fandom Media. I'm your host, Chris, and boy, do we have some big discussions to talk about in today's video. I am excited. Also, you guys, it's the second weekend of Captain America Brave New World, and I am so curious to know what that second weekend drop-off is going to be. I'm a little nervous. I don't see this movie pulling $500 million at the box office, and I love this movie. I'm going to go see it again either tomorrow or Saturday afternoon. I'm just a little worried, and apparently, in order to break even, it has to pull in $425 million. I think it's made over a little bit shy of over $200 million. Boy, oh boy, does Captain America 4 have the legs to pull through? I am worried, very worried, because I want to see my boy Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson, Captain America, succeed. You know, I honestly do. He's going to be leading the charge. He's going to be leading the Avengers. And that's what I want to see. He is an important character moving forward. I think everybody should at least give the film a shot. Please. It is not bad. That whole cinema score of being like a B- is wild to me. The lowest in Marvel history. Marvel Studios, that is. Wild. False narrative, you guys. Go see it. Please. Support Captain America Brave New World. Now, you guys, a lot of topics to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the whole James Bond things because I'm not a big James Bond fan. You know, apparently Amazon now has the creative rights for it, so maybe they're going to do their own series on Prime Video. It's a possibility, but I was never a James Bond fan, like at all. I mean, other than, you know, on the Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, and the GameCube, I believe, Nightfire. Absolutely. Some of the funnest games I've ever played, dude. I'm telling you, Nightfire was such a good game. And GoldenEye is just peak gaming as a kid. Give me that golden gun all day, and I am just lighting everybody up. Cannot wait. Look, I have my 64 behind me. But the unfortunate thing is I don't have like none of the cords or like the whole HDMI plug to, plug into my TV. So I got to invest in, really, setting up my 64 and my Super Nintendo because retro gaming is something I have considered on the channel, you guys. It's not official, it's just I've considered it. So let's jump into some of these topics, you guys, in today's video. Speaking of Marvel Studios, apparently Deadline just came out and, they put out this article stating that Marvel Studios pretty much axed or put on hold 3 Marvel television shows. That being Nova, the second being Terror Inc. I was like, Terror Inc., who is that? And I was like, I gotta look this up. So apparently Terror Inc. is an anti-hero terror. It is an eternal entity that absorbs the talents of others through their dismembered limbs. Marvel Studios was really working on that. I mean, they're digging deep in their bag if they were gonna, try to get that off the ground. I mean, why are you trying to get that off the ground? You still can't get Blade off the ground. Or like, just focus. I don't even want to get into it, you guys. I don't. I just want them to really sit back and focus on the characters that actually matter. The characters that fans want to see. There's so many other characters that have been sidelined in this multiverse saga. The fact that Shang-Chi we haven't seen him since his filming like 3 years ago is wild to me. They really need to really focus on the narrative of the characters that they've already introduced. I mean, we don't know what's happening with She-Hulk. We don't know what's happening with Moon Knight. All these characters, it's a little frustrating to me. At least when we first Steve Rogers, we knew he was going to be back in the Avengers film. There was all this kind of connected continuity, whereas the multiverse saga kind of just, put out a whole bunch of stuff. And, they're like, I hope you guys enjoy it. This is pretty much it for that character until, we can figure out where to put him in to this multiverse saga. And it's frustrating, you guys. So, Terror Inc. has been put on hold or canceled. Nova, which is big to me, and Strange Academy. They kind of teased Strange Academy at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness when America Chavez was there at the end at, the Sanctum? Yeah, Sanctum? I believe it's Sanctum. And, she was kind of learning to be a sorcerer or whatever. I was like, oh, interesting. I see what you're doing there. And apparently Wong was going to be leading this group in this TV show. Love Wong. I think, he's a fantastic character. Whenever he's on screen, he steals the show. Don't need a Strange Academy. And I like the fact that Marvel is either canceling or putting off shows until they can really focus on the bangers that they know will really put them back on the map. And yes, I do see that, you guys. Marvel Studios is no longer this juggernaut studio. Yeah, they once in a blue moon, they make $1 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home. Deadpool and Wolverine. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever made some money. Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness. But Captain America 4 right now, you guys, I don't think it's going to even make I think most, it can maybe pull in $500 million at the box office. Most. So they really need to scale back. And that's what they've been doing since Bob Chapek left and whatever. And Bob Iger kind of took over, and Kevin Feige really, is retooling certain projects and things of that nature. I think Brave New World was the last project that really had like some big retooling. Apparently, Thunderbolts had 0 reshoots, 0 additional photography. Daredevil Born Again had its retooling, but, that only benefited Daredevil Born Again because they brought over the entire team that was, doing wonderful things on, the Netflix show. So, and I can't wait for Daredevil Born Again, you guys. It is going to be so much hype. So, canceling certain shows or putting off certain shows to prioritize other heroes, I think is a good idea. I want to see Blade before I see a Nova, before I see a Strange Academy, before I see, a Terror Inc. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Midnight Suns project lifted off the ground. You've kind of dabbled into this world of the supernatural so far in the MCU. Let's kind of, stay in that corner a little bit. I really like what they did with Werewolf by Night. There's a lot of great things they can do with that side of their universe. And, obviously leading to the end of the multiverse saga, you're going to have your X-Men and the Fantastic Four, which will be the face of the MCU. Those are characters and franchises you have to prioritize ASAP. Because if the fans don't buy your X-Men, if the fans don't buy the Fantastic Four leading your charge into the mutant saga, then I don't know who does. You're not rebooting Captain America anytime soon. You're not rebooting Iron Man anytime soon. That we know of. Maybe the multiverse saga could end with Secret Wars. Variants make it out. The MCU is a complete reboot. It's a possibility. Would I be mad at it? No. Because at the end of the day, they're going to have to reboot the MCU sometime. It's going to happen, you guys. Look at Harry Potter. It's getting rebooted. Did not need to get rebooted, but they're going to be rebooting the entire series for an HBO Max series. And, each season is going to be based off the book. So maybe it could potentially work. I just think it's way too soon to reboot the Harry Potter franchise because it is so beloved in my eyes, you guys. But that's a whole nother story we can talk about. Moving on, you guys. Spider-Man 4. This is coming from Daniel RPK. Spider-Man 4 reportedly introduced a fresh take on the character with brand new supporting cast. Director Destin Daniel Cretton is leading the film in a new direction. Where did Spider-Man and Peter Parker get left off at No Way Home? Very end of that, he's on his own. Aunt May's died. She died. Tony's gone. He's a completely new identity. He is going to be struggling mentally in this next phase of these Spider-Man films. So a whole new supporting cast. He doesn't have his girlfriend. He doesn't have his best friend. Essentially, this is like starting over from scratch. And I'm fine with that. We have the symbiote in the MCU now. You can do wonders. But that's not a one-off thing. Come on, he's going to be donning that black suit in Secret Wars and Doomsday, baby. Come on now. How do you make Spider-Man more powerful? You throw on that symbiote suit and he is godly-like powerful. So I know Destin is probably cooking up something big with that. Supporting cast, you guys, Peter's got to get a job now. He doesn't have this Iron Man fancy tech to support his suit. So now he's got to make everything from scratch like he did his homemade suit in Spider-Man No Way Home, which I really loved. It's kind of like the angle that, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man's taking. But, they kind of switched Tony Stark with Norman Osborn. Brilliant. Yo, if you guys haven't seen Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I'm telling you, it is a wonderful show. Some of the best animation Marvel Studios has put out. I put it up there with X-Men 97. It is peak, you guys. Peak. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. So, supporting cast, maybe you introduce, dude, it's going to be rough. Mary Jane's gone. As far as villains go, I would do Mr. Negative and have that kind of tie into May Parker and the whole Feast thing. Peter knows him. I think that would be a brilliant idea if they did in some version Mr. Negative for the villain for, Spider-Man 4. But, we still would have those reports of them wanting to do a whole multiverse storyline and Kevin Feige and Tom Holland pulling back. I'm like, no, let's keep it grounded. We don't know what's happening with the story. It kind of comes out during the time of this whole multiverse saga and the way it's going to end. Maybe they tie in a multiverse storyline with some grounded elements into it. Completely fine with me. But, as far as like supporting characters, maybe you introduce Oscorp. Peter's in college now. You know, he meets Harry, Norman Osborn. You know, he gets to know Otto Octavius and, you know, Dr. Kirk Connors. That's a possibility. I mean, why not? Gwen Stacy, a new love interest for Peter. I don't want to see Zendaya and, you know, this whole love circle. I don't want to see that no more. It's done. She does have a role in this film, but it's much smaller. So if they're moving away from Zendaya's MJ, completely fine with that. I'm okay. I have no doubt in my mind that Destin Daniel Cretton is going to cook with Spider-Man 4. Hopefully he gives us some great action sequences like he did in Shang-Chi that really, I wouldn't even say rival the first 3 Spider-Man films that John Watts did, because the action just was subpar. It was, at best, it wasn't amazing. You know, the web swinging elements to those 3 Spider-Man films were very lackluster. So hopefully we get some amazing, you know, web swinging sequences like we did in the Amazing Spider-Man series, you guys. So good. Or even Sam Raimi stuff. We had some great action scenes in those films. And I want to see my boy Peter Parker, Spider-Man, elevated, you know, past his whole beginning trilogy. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Moving on, you guys. So Marvel is exploring ideas and options on how to incorporate the Marvel Netflix characters. We already have Daredevil Born Again coming out, right? Matt Murdock was introduced in Spider-Man No Way Home. He showed up as Daredevil and Matt Murdock. And She-Hulk, Kingpin was in, you know, the Hawkeye series. Now it's time for other characters to shine, like my boy Luke Cage. Maybe Luke Cage goes up against the Kingpin for mayor, like in that comic book run, The Devil's Reign. That would be great. And I want to see Harlem's Paradise again. I love the first 2 seasons of Luke Cage. Just golden. Jessica Jones, I was cool with. Iron Fist, I think you should recast Iron Fist and potentially have him in the sequel for Shang-Chi too. Just a thought, just a thought. And of course, you have the Punisher returning in Daredevil Born Again, which I can't wait to see my boy John Bernthal in the role of Frank Castle. So good. First season was phenomenal. Second season, I don't even think I finished the second season, because I think I was like a couple episodes in, and then I found out they canceled it, and I was like, I'm okay. I'm moving on. So I didn't even finish the second season, to be honest with you. It wasn't that interesting. You know, it wasn't. The first season was really peak. And then moving on to DC, you guys, the final topic of today's video. Let's jump into it. Daniel Craig drops out of the role of Sgt.Rock at DC Studios due to scheduling conflicts. And apparently Jeremy Allen White is in the talks to star in the film. Now, I'm going to be honest. A Sgt.Rock project, I could care less about. I made no interest whatsoever. But you throw in Jeremy Allen White, one of my favorite actors, Iron Claw, yes, Chef the Bear. Now you've piqued my curiosity a little bit. You piqued it a little bit. Because now I'm such a big fan of Jeremy Allen White. I'm like, okay, now I really want to, you know, if this turns out to be true, and if he does accept the role, it's Jeremy Allen White, man. But as far as like a Sgt.Rock movie, like where does it fit into the bigger picture of, you know, the DCU? And, you know, they're shooting Lanterns right now. They're shooting Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Superman is in post-production. And then you have a Sgt.Rock film as a period piece. Kind of odd. I mean, it's odd that they're doing a Clayface film, but at least Clayface, you know, ties into Batman. You know what I mean? We could potentially see Batman show up in a Clayface project. And the style and, you know, the themes they're approaching for Clayface, making it, you know, a horror film, I think is a brilliant idea. But a Sgt.Rock, I'm just not that motivated to go out there and watch it. I'm just being honest with you guys. No doubt in my mind, to, you know, James Gunn, I know he's cooking up some big things at DC Studios. But that's one project I'm willing to leave on the table and be like, maybe I'll watch it. We'll see. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about today's topics in today's video. I want to know you guys' honest thoughts and opinion. Do you think Captain America Brave New World is going to pull big at its second weekend at the box office? What do you think about Spider-Man 4 news and updates? And what do you think about Marvel scaling back, canceling, or postponing certain movies and shows in order to prioritize other things that need to close out this multiverse saga? Thoughts and opinions, post your comments down below. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching C-Roll Productions. Peace.